Okay, so who the heck is God? Right? That's such a loaded term. And depending upon which religious group you find yourself in, you're going to have a load of history behind that word. Okay, and you're going to have a load of baggage, maybe even, and a load of a series of limiting beliefs, let alone one, right? And then you also have what culture defines as God, and then you have what atheist defines as God, and then you have fill in the blank. We have an endless dictionary just for what God is and who God is and whether God has an agenda, whether God has an agenda, whatever it is. We have a preloaded preconception of what God is, and how you define God will determine whether or not you're able to manifest, first and foremost. And then two, whether this God or this being, whatever you call it, or this essence or energy is for you or against you. This is what Albert Einstein says, right? Like, one of the greatest questions you'll ever answer is, do I believe that the universe is for me? Okay. And so that is very powerful. Now, I want to offer a very different definition, and it's from the work of Neville Goddard, that looks at God as the ultimate fulfillment. Okay, so the fulfillment of what? Well, the fulfillment of any desire that you have. And so God is the ultimate fulfillment. So when, for example, if you, and he even says this, like, you basically replace the word God with imagining. And in another lecture, he talks about how God is better understood as the ultimate fulfillment of desire, right? And so when you begin to understand that and plug that in, then you'd be like, okay, in the beginning, imagination creates, right? And so what that really is, that's already giving you a technique. That's already giving you a technique to help you really understand and grasp that the imagination is what creates everything. Okay, it's not talking about some literal event that happened 6,000 years ago in terms of the universal creation, right? It is talking about what we do here. Okay, so anywhere that you plug that in, it's talking about what's happening, and what you're doing in the imagination is what creates. Okay, so again, when it says with God all things are possible, it's really saying with imagination all things are possible. Now, people always ask me, like, oh, well, does that mean anything is possible? Yes, anything is possible. Can you think of it? Then it's doable. Now, do I get to choose for you how long that takes for that thing to manifest? No, I don't. Do I get to explain or explore or deconstruct for you how it's going to unfold? No, I don't. Right? But I can say this, that when we use the word possible, that already comes with a question. Because when you're saying, is it possible, you already believe it's not, because otherwise, why would you even have the question? Right? So then you're automatically already thinking from the premise of, oh, something might not be possible. Because again, if you didn't need to answer that question, then you would already believe that it's possible, because you're already believing something, right? And you're already believing that that anything is possible, which means there's nothing that's impossible. Okay? I know it's circular, but are you with me so far? So again, another better way to understand this is that if you take Neville's understanding of God and you say, okay, then what you're really saying is with fulfillment. Because if God is fulfillment, the ultimate fulfillment, and you're fulfilling yourself here, and then it shows up here, then really another way to say that is with fulfillment, all things are possible. So let's ground this. You know me, I like to give you techniques. So what that means is with health, all things are possible, because that's your fulfillment, right? Let's say you want health. With being a billionaire, all things are possible. With happiness, all things are possible. With confidence, all things are possible. Okay? So again, you take any fulfillment that you have, and then with that fulfillment, and that's the key, the fulfillment of the thing, which you're doing in here first, right? With the imaginary scene, then you begin to realize, oh yeah, so the solution makes all things possible. Now, you don't even have to think about that spiritually. Think about that. With a solution, all things are possible. So if your car is broke down, what's the solution? A car that works. Well, guess what? With a fixed car, all things are possible. So that means with your car now working, you can go and do whatever you want it to do. So then now all things are possible again, right? Are you with me? So again, it's not, in one sense, you don't even have to overthink the mystical side of this. You just think, oh yeah, so with health, all things are possible. So then with health, I can go and do possible things. And with the money, I can go do things that are possible to me, right? Are you with me? So then really, when you think of God this way, rather than is it some white bearded dude up in the sky that looks like Zeus and, sounds like a hipster or sounds like a surfer and with a tan. Like all of this stuff about like, well, God is this or God has this race or gender, that really, really gets beyond the point, right? We're just fighting for the sake of fighting, okay? At the end of the day, if you really do understand that God is the ultimate fulfillment, or just the word fulfillment, right? Or solution, or, the desired end is complete. Whatever it is that makes sense to you, understand that it is fulfillment, then trust me, that understanding of God is going to free everybody. And that's what we all want.